Welcome to the Delta Collegiate Stream. I am Dominic Arthur here with Noise in the Newsroom. Today we have Tunde Olaniran, and Tunde's from Flint, right?
Yep. How's it going?
Good. You're kind of like I said, you're a hard guy to reach. It's
Elusive.
been weeks. Yeah, it's
Elusive,
been months
no.
in the making, and
So funny.
finally you're here. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. It was being in Flint, I don't get to come up like north. I'm usually in Detroit. I was just telling Matt, so it's nice to come. Mid Michigan still feels like my stomping ground a little bit, like Saginaw. So.
Now, are you from Saginaw?
No, I mean I'm from Flint, but it's closer, and so I've been up here more than I think people who might be from Southeast Michigan. I'm a little more familiar with it. So.
All right. Now I got an email from you, and you had a lot of titles underneath your name.
Oh my God, yeah.
A lot. And manager of outreach, Planned Parenthood, Mid Michigan.
Yep.
The board chair for the Raise It Up Youth Arts and Awareness.
Yeah, that I just stepped down from the board. I need to change but yeah, I was one of the founding members of a really cool organization called Raise It Up Youth Arts and Awareness, and they basically use the creative arts to address social justice issues for young people to kind of make it relevant for them. So they'll do anything from arts training to surveys of grocery stores to see if certain neighborhoods have enough fresh fruit. So they really help young people figure out what's critical to me and how do I advocate for myself. So I was really happy to be a part of that organization.
Nice. And
Yeah.
You're the board treasurer for Flint Handmade.
Yeah. That's
Sorry.
my girl, Crystal Pepperdine, runs Flint Handmade, and they do all handcrafting, working on sustainability, and they kind of focus on how do you spend less and make more.
Yeah.
So they have two big craft markets in Flint that thousands of people come to. They have a spring craft market and a winter holiday market, and they do something in Frankenmuth too. So they're very much about handcrafting and getting folks just more keyed into how that works. They do supply swaps. They work with Habitat for Humanity's store. So they're just all about doing more with less.
Nice.
Yeah.
And outreach committee chair for Reading Flint.
Yeah, that's why I need to change that signature. I keep forgetting. That one's no longer, that was 3 years ago, so.
And what's Beauty and the Beat? You're a lead organizer for it. Well,
Beauty and the Beat was a fashion and music and art show that I founded with a few other people. Actually, the CEO or the executive director of Handmade and the executive director of Raise It Up were all on the planning committee for that. So we did that in Flint. I don't know if you know Michelle Shamuel from The Voice. She was runner-up last year.
No.
She was on Usher's team. Anyway,
Yeah.
she was a lead singer for a band that played there. John Connor, who's now signed to Aftermath Records, he had a debut concert there. So it was this really cool way to do fashion and music together. And I think it set the stage for how I like to work now, because it was about how to collaborate with people of different disciplines to kind of create a common performance or piece. So that informs a lot of the work I do now. And when I'm shooting videos, I kind of try to take all the lessons I learned from doing that fashion show, music show together.
Now, do you shoot video yourself, or is there a team?
I work with a director. So for the Young Archetype EP, we had 3 videos. The first video for Brown Boy was shot by Oren Goldenberg, who we did that in Detroit. And then Gold House Media did the critical video, and then I shot with the Wright brothers in Detroit for The Highway. But I think for Brown Boy, I let the director pretty much have play out his vision, and I just tried to bring the performance to it. But with Critical and The Highway, I came with an idea and then work with the director and my tailor and costumer to create how everything, I do the choreography, all that. So it's a lot of fun, and I love being able to just work with people that have totally different perspectives on how they want to express something, and how they see me as an artist can be really cool. So yeah.
And when was your first album?
So I just signed to Quite Scientific, and the first thing we put out was Brown Boy. And then before that, I had done a series of EPs called The First Transgression and The Second Transgression. So those came out, I believe, in 2010, and I've been trying to figure out my sound. But the first single with Quite Scientific was 2013. And we had a bunch of cool remixes for Brown Boy, and then put Brown Boy on this EP, which was out in February of this year.
Oh, so we got an advanced copy.
Well, this one came out in February of this year. Yeah.
Oh,
so my full album Transgressor will be out March of 2015.
No.
Yeah.
March is gonna be a big year.
Yeah, hopefully.
Or a big month.
It'll feel like a year. It feels like there's so much has happened this year. It's like I was thinking about it, and like I can't believe Young Archetype came out this year, because just a lot has happened with that EP, and it seemed like it's been like twice as long since it came out, just because we've crammed so much in promoting it, you know.
Yeah. Now, what made you get into music?
I don't know. Like I didn't really think I wanted to be a performer until more recently. I've always, like just like a lot of people, maybe I was in choir in middle school and high school, but getting to do like some touring as an artist let me see that you could actually kind of have a career, maybe more than just as a hobby. So that was in 2008. I got a chance to actually tour Europe and promote and perform for some other artists. And like, then on my own as a solo act, I was like, all right, I'm gonna actually do this for real. I started in like 2010 and then did some touring on my own in 2011. So I've been like really seriously considering it as like a career path since then. And taking a lot more care with like the music that I record and write.
Mm.
Yeah.
How was Europe?
Europe was great. I spent a lot of time. I grew up partially in Germany, so I got to go back and be like an adult there, which was cool. Like,
yeah,
so seeing Berlin, seeing France, and we actually, I think one of the shows Diplo opened for our act, so that was like a huge crowd. Like, I just think as an artist, especially in the U.S., as an indie artist, venues and even like fans aren't the same. And so getting a chance to see people who are like, we're here just for music, we're not here for the drink special, we're not here for whatever, like it gives you like more motivation.
Yeah.
And like in Europe, it's not as much of a rat race. Like they actually, I think in the US, there's like a huge divide on whether or not people deserve certain basic human like rights and healthcare and things. So you struggle a lot. But in places like Germany, like you can get a stipend as an artist to live. And so the idea of being an artist that doesn't have a day job is way less rare there. So that was just a lot of really motivation too, to be like, oh wow, you don't always have to be like dragging like, and starving just to like do something. I'm sorry, I'm talking in circles, but
no, it's fine.
Does it make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. How would you describe your music for those that may not know who you are and what kind of music you produce? Because this morning I was leaving out, my roommates are like, well, who's that? And so it's like, you'll find out who Tunde is if you listen to the Delta Collegiate stream.
Yeah, I feel like if you're maybe a little younger, I would say it's a mixture of like MIA meets Kanye West. This is like a very simple way to put it for folks, like shorthand.
Yeah, that's.
But to describe the music, it's like melodic, but a kind of abrasive, danceable. It's very sample focused and sample heavy, and I think it uses samples in really interesting and fun ways. That's and I kind of bring like my voice is more of a soul voice, and then there's rap too mixed in. So that's kind of how to describe, I guess, the sound.
Now, what were your inspirations when you knew you wanted to do this for sure? When you finally decided that it was time for me to get up and do this, what drove you?
More like current artists. Probably MIA. Actually, just I remember hearing Galang, I think, or I'm trying to remember the other song.
Did she?
It was like a ballet funk. London, quiet down, no need to make a sound. New York, no, Bucky Dungan. That song was like, wow, this is amazing, because it just had, Brazilian, it had her accent was just really interesting. And then I think Diplo produced that. Like, just everything about it was really, it just pushes you forward, like listening to it. And so I was like, I want music that feels like energetic like that. So MIA was definitely a big influence. An artist called Ebony Bones was a big influence. Santa Gold was a big influence. And then as far as vocalists, like actually Lauryn Hill, probably. Missy Elliott is a huge one too.
Yeah,
Missy is like probably the ultimate, like her voice is just so, and her tone, it doesn't matter what she's saying, like it just gives you like, it's like an urgent feel. Like I love her.
Now, how many shows and tours have you been on?
I've done a lot of shows in like Detroit, but then touring on my own, maybe like 3 or 4 stints. I've done a few shows in New York, DC, some stuff in the Midwest like Indiana, Chicago. So it's mainly been for the U.S. It's been like East Coast stuff, some Midwest, and then I've done some things in Vancouver, British Columbia, a few festivals there.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're traveling. That's cool that you get to travel.
Yeah, it's oh my gosh, it's so crazy though sometimes. Like when I did the show, I played Rifflandia, which is a festival, and that was in Vancouver, and then I played Oleo Fest, and like I lost my passport trying to get to Canada.
Oh.
And so I thought I could just be like, oh well, I have my driver's. I don't know what I was thinking. So I got stranded and had to like get a passport in a day. So I like had to go from LA to Seattle, crash with a friend who's like, what are you doing here? Why? Like, I'm like, come get me. I'm stranded in Seattle. And then find a ferry to get to Vancouver and then change my flight around. Like it was, so you get into some craziness. And then I was alone at that point. So it was just like, a lot.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Stressful.
Now, do you have any fun stories? Fun or appropriate stories?
Yeah, for sure. So now I have dancers that they travel with me, and so one time we were playing. I think we had a show in Brooklyn, and we got to the hotel, and we were like before the show. I think the day of the show, maybe. I was like, all right, well let's check in and then go over some of the choreography. So I get to my room, and there's actually the cleaning service was in there. So I was like, oh, this is my room. And she's like, all right, well, welcome. I didn't use my key. I just came in. So I'm sitting on the bed getting stuff organized. And I was like, all right, girls, like, show me. Like, we had this kind of more Bollywood influenced dance.
Yeah.
So it almost looks like the Dance of the Seven Scarves. Like, it's very, like, seductive looking. Not really, but, like, if you just were like glancing at it. So they're doing this dance and I'm on the bed, and then this like old man like walks in with a suitcase and wearing a suit, and he's like, I don't know if I'm in the right room. So I'd gone in the wrong room, and I didn't know because I didn't use my key. So they let me in. So I just feel like I look like some crazy sultan, like, dance for me. Like they're just like beckoning and like dancing, and he walks in like, this might not be the right situation. And I just jump up. I'm like, oh, no, it's fine. It's wrong. So I just gave him my key, and I was like, we'll trade keys. Take mine. You can go to that room. It's just as good. But like, I think a lot of the situations are just people seeing us and being like, what is happening? Because we'll be like walking down the street looking insane, like wearing some crazy fringe poncho. Like those kind of situations are funny. And I think like, when you road trip with friends, that's like, it's no one else would find it funny, but you just have a lot of like really hilarious moments, like coming back singing Mariah Carey at the top of our lungs, and then randomly like fireworks in the sky, like we have no idea where it's coming from, but like on Sweet Fantasy, when you get to the high note, we're like, wait, why are there fireworks going on? It's just little stuff like that makes it fun to be with.
I can imagine that guy. I could just picture how I'd feel in that situation if I just walked into a room and there's a guy just sitting on the bed and there's girls dancing around. I'm like,
right.
Do I stay or do I go?
Is this part of the perks? How many points is this for my hotel? Like,
this wasn't in the brochure.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what do you love about music? What is your absolute, like, one love that you can just think of right off the top of your head about?
Harmony, I guess. I love harmonizing. I guess that's really specific. But yeah, like, performing is amazing, and I love that. But when once the track is ready and I'm recording and playing around with harmonies in the studio, that's a lot of fun for me. And I really think like going from a bare track to having to like creating that melody in the studio is just a lot of fun. So I guess I'd say that.
What do you? I know a lot of artists have hopes for their music to kind of take. I want people to think this. I want people not think, but kind of. I want to push them in a certain direction. What do you think? What are you hoping that your music will do for people?
I don't want to push anyone in a certain direction. I just want them to like it. I'd love to have a song where like 20 years from now they're like, oh, don't change it, that's my jam, y'all don't know nothing about this song. Like I just want that song, have something like that where like when we're all like 60, 70, like, and our kids and grandkids are like, oh, turn that off. I just want to be like that golden oldie that someone takes them back to when it first came out. That would be amazing. And then I'd like to have music that actually has substance in its lyrics but isn't preachy and boring. I just you want to be able to enjoy it without having to compartmentalize like the fact that it's degrading to someone. It's fun. It bumps as much as any other track, but it's not problematic, to listen to because of the content,
Yeah, and you have a lot that's kind of music that's out there that degrades or that kind of.
It's just you like it's a good like I like Bobby Shmurda, like I like that song, but it's like the lyrics are horrible, if you think about it, and you just kind of ignore it and dance anyway. I'd like to be able to let people get us turned up, but without any kind of issues surrounding.
Like you don't want to insult the people that are turning up to your song. Yeah. Do you have any advice for upcoming artists?
Yes. Wait, how did this go? Someone said this to me. You have to sing. If you want to get to do, you can't just sing me, me, me. There's like a lot of other notes to get to that. So that's like, there's other people that you have to look out for. And then don't ever, like, I think everyone's trying to like, I want to tweet my link to Usher. Like Usher like doesn't care about your album. Yeah. I'm sorry. But people that are in your peer group, in a few years, they'll be the radio directors at that station. They'll be the ones editors of that magazine. Like, pay attention to people in your circle that are, like, motivated because those are the networks that you want to build. And I found that to be true for me, like, in my professional life and in music. Like, don't always be, like, clamoring to get the attention of someone on, quote-unquote, a higher level than you. Like, pay attention to the people around you, too, and, like, treat them well and with respect. And, like, stay in touch with them. Like, contact them and just let them know that you are still around because you never know like where someone ends up in a year or two.
Yeah, and it's opened my eyes recently that I'm truly surrounded by people that this is the future of this industry.
Yeah.
And these are people I know I can rely on and go, hey, let's do a radio show. Let's go write a magazine or let's do something because we have the resources now. That's what I'm thankful for. It's Thanksgiving time. That's what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful to be in a network of cool people that I know that it's going to be an awesome future.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I guess the other piece would just be like, if you like something, think about why you like it and like what elements go into it. I don't want to say it's more of a musician, not like every artistic medium, but like if you're trying to make music, look at what you do like and think about why you like it, because and break it down and really study like all of the elements of what makes it click for you.
Yeah.
And that kind of helps you to see how things work, because music industry is like, there's not a clear path like if you want to be an architect, like there's like steps you can take.
Yeah.
But with music, you have to kind of like reverse engineer things. So
yeah, because we're all in an industry where it's you could do it alone, but you also should consider the people around you.
Yeah.
Like you may know this guy that's a writer. You may know this guy that's good at videography, photography. So take them with you. Might as well.
I agree.
Now with Thanksgiving around the corner, what are you thankful for?
I'm actually really thankful that Seattle no longer celebrates Columbus Day. I am thankful that the United Nations is listening to things about, violence against people of color in the United States. I'm really thankful for Prop 46 being passed, so a lot of thousands of people are wrongly incarcerated in California are coming out of bogus drug charges, and like I'm thankful because I think that it's easy to be discouraged by like things like the midterm election results, but like seeing that like the person that run that prop, she's from Detroit, dreamed Hampton, and so like, seeing like she's one person that made such a huge impact on people, like families that were shattered are coming back together. So like it makes me still feel motivated to like do some of that work of organizing and do some of that work towards like whatever my idea of social justice is. So like if that's you and you're discouraged about the midterm elections for whatever reason, keep hope. There's still a lot of work to do, and I'm thankful for the people that are doing that and like the little glimmers of forward movement.
Yeah. Now, what are you excited most about the future?
This album, getting it finished. Oh my gosh, it's like stressing me out just thinking about it. And we're shooting 2 music videos, so I was just like talking to the director about like what we're doing for that. So I'm excited to like start, but I'm also just stressed out about having to do it all.
Now, beyond the album, what are you looking? What is one thing that you like to sit down and think about at 50 and be like, I did it.
I'd like to say, I had, again, like something really solid that people could connect with on a large scale. However, whether it's a song, an album, a tour, whatever. But then I would love to be able to say, like, I took the time to, like, reconnect with friends that have like moved away. So I feel like for me, I'd like to get a chance to do a little bit more traveling, just leisurely traveling. So that I would love to say like, yes, I went to Colorado and spent like a few months with this friend, or I saw my grandmother for like, spent the summer with her. So hopefully I can say I did all those things before. Sometimes, you lose folks before you can. So I'm just trying to make sure I do that.
Oh, that's awesome. Because normally you hear, I just want to sit with a crap ton of money and
I don't really. I mean, I
want a giant house that.
As long as I can make leather fringe ponchos, like that's all I need to do. I'm like I have Wi-Fi. That's pretty much it.
Wi-Fi and leather fringe ponchos.
Yeah.
And this is Tunde Olaniran.
There you go.
There we go. I got it. Tunde Olaniran will be playing at Hunter's Ale House next Friday, November 21st.
Hopefully, see you there.
Yeah. Now, could you plug your social media?
Yeah, so Tunde Olaniran, TundeOlanriran, TundeOlanriran.com. And you can find me with that name on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So it's all the same across most platforms.
And there will be links for you guys to click on to find them.
And all my videos are up on the website, so you can kind of see all the upcoming shows. Everything will be on the website. So,
all right, this has been the very unique and humble Tunde Olaniran. There we go, perfect again. And this is Dominic Arthur, and this has been Noise in the Newsroom.
Trying to figure out who I am, what to be, but it's just not happening. Lights on, look around, check out my surroundings. Yo, steady breaking through until I get understood. Try to stop me, get a splinter, cause I'm like I wish they would. In a barrel, they're found, kill each other for the crown. But when I come through your town, break it up, I shut it down. It's like every time I wanna get a view, they're throwing shade now, what's a brown kid to do? So instead I put them suckers on blast. And you can tell the man that he can kiss my I'm every single thing you think of me. I'm a sinner, killer, drug dealer, refugee. So keep your jaw locked and I keep the peace. They act like they don't want a man, they know me. So I'm a brown boy, I'm a brown boy, I'm a brown The center is where I spend my time. I'm brave enough to know I need to leave the peace behind. Cause I could be charred up in the barbecue, but still come out and not be black enough for you. And then these questions, they can really trip me up, especially when they prove to be real tough. Like, can I be a man? Can I not love? Pledge allegiance to the flag of revelation. I'm every single thing you think of me. I'm a cynic, killer, drug dealer, refugee. So keep your jaw locked and I keep the peace. They act like they don't want up, but man, they know me. So I'm a brown boy, I'm a brown boy. I'm a brown boy, I'm a brown boy. I'm a brown boy, I'm a brown boy. What else can I give? I can't let go. What else can I give? I won't say no. What else can I give? 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 I'm every single thing you think of me. I'm a cynic, killer, drug dealer, refugee. So keep your jaw locked and I keep the peace. They act like they don't want up, but man, they know me. Cause I'm a brown boy, I'm a brown boy. I'm a brown boy, I'm a brown boy. I'm a brown boy, I'm a brown boy. I'm every single thing you think of me. I'm a cynic, killer, drug dealer, refugee. So keep your jaw locked and I keep the peace. They act like they don't want up, but man, they know me. Cause I'm a brown boy, I'm a brown boy. I'm a brown boy, I'm a brown boy. I'm a brown boy, I'm a brown boy.